Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's video I'd like to look at the larger degree trend and how we can use that to help project and advance areas of support and resistance, particularly on the larger degree charts, so this can help when we trade on our shorter term charts. In fact, the 4 USE minis yesterday was a brilliant example on this. This is the new beta version of MTPredictor version 7 that I'll be using for today's demonstration. I'll also have a look at the MTRT add-ons for NinjaTrader later in the video. So for standard traders we use the STF color. The idea being is that if the STF is red we look for sell signals, if it's black we can look for buys or sells, or if it's blue we can look for buy setups. Perhaps I ought to go and have a quick look at the 6E for yesterday and actually show you some examples on this because there were some good setups. So for example here, TS3 sell on a black STF would have been a valid trade setup. So you place the analysis on a nice plus 2.1 hour trade. Another trade here as denoted by our history triangles, this one would have been stopped out for a -1 hour loss. But the point being is it was still in the direction of the large degree trend as indicated by the STF color. And again then another setup later on here, came down here for a nice plus 3 hour profit, but again the sell was in the direction of the STF color. So that's what we do for standard traders. To make it easy we use the STF color here to give us a guide for the large degree trend direction. However, with every single indicator there's always a slight problem in that they are what we call lagging. They're lagging because they work on past history, and that's the way any indicator is calculated. A good example here is on the USE minis yesterday. After the big gap down, as the market was rallying up, the STF, in this case trend indicator, was still saying red. It only turned black later in the day. So in other words, it was indicating a downtrend even though the market was rallying. So what that would have meant for your standard traders is we had a sell set up here on the 3-minute ES. We analyze it. You can see the market did not get down to our first target, and in this case it would have actually gone down here, and you'd have at the very least put your stop to break even, so you'd have been stopped out for a break even trade. But the point being is there anything we can do once we get used to MTPredictor to help give us an indication that the market is going to go against the STF color? Well, yes, there is, and for this we use our larger degree trend on our 15-minute charts, or a higher time frame. If you're trading on 15-minute charts you can use 60-minute charts. If you're trading off daily charts you can use weekly charts. Now if we go to this and we go back to before the day opened, what we do is we look for prior pivots, prior swing highs and lows. For example, there's a pretty important pivot here. If I right mouse click, put the decision point on it, you can see how this decision point is on the chart in advance. That's the point with these tools, is that we're now moving to what we call leading indicators. In other words, they're projecting support and resistance zones in advance. If we now scroll forward, we can see that yesterday the ES came down and it hit this support zone, and then it rallied off that support zone for the rest of the day. And in fact this is what we were talking about in our live trading webinar yesterday. We were projecting these support zones, and we were saying live at the time that we're in support here, so odds on the market was going to rally. We can do exactly the same for all the USE minis yesterday. Here's another important pivot here. Here's another important pivot here. You see you can put them on in different places, so you're ready in advance for support zones. We go forward, and here you can see the YM came down, came into this 15-minute decision point support zone, and then rallied the rest of the day. We have exactly the same for the NQ. Again, if we put that on, decision point, Russell Index, there was an important pivot there. Market gapped down through that one. We come back to the next important low, which was down here, and in this case the decision point area held and the market rallied for the rest of the day. But you can get the idea in that what we can do is we can use the 15-minute charts to project in advance these areas of support and resistance. And again, we called this live in our trading room yesterday, so this was a good example of how this works in reality. So how do we use this? Well, knowing that we had support coming in on our decision point on the higher time frame, we can then decide to either manage any short trades or trades that are against the new large degree trend more aggressively, i.e. bring your stop to break even quicker, or you can just avoid them altogether. So in this case, even though the STF was red, as an advanced trader we knew we were expecting a rally during yesterday. So let's skip through the 4 USE minis and see if we can find any buy setups, because we're expecting a rally. And the best buy setup was on the Russell Index. Here's an automatic TS4 buy setup. We put the analysis on. You can see it gave us a lovely plus 2.5 hour profit. But the point being is that this TS4 buy was actually against a red STF, so standard traders would not be taking it. But can you see now that once you actually add in the advanced tools of our DP on our 15-minute charts, you can now predict or project in advance areas of where support is coming in and actually catch these turns a lot more accurate. So of course the question being is, why do we have this color indicator on the charts at all if we basically teach people not to use it? Well, as I said right at the start of the webinar, I found throughout the years with MTPredictor, which has been going for well over 10 years now, is that if we try and teach people advanced techniques right from the word go, it's a bit complicated. So what we've done is develop this STF color indicator to give you an easy way to come in to MTPredictor to get used to the trade setups, the trade management, etc., and give you an easy way to get the larger degree trend. And as we've seen on our 6E chart, most of the time this will actually do a very good job for you and actually keep you on the right side of the market. However, what we do is then once you become experienced, we then take you up a level. In other words, we teach you, okay, this is good, but we have better. In other words, the better tools and the more advanced tools are our decision point tools, and as you can see yesterday, they caught the very low of the day on the E-minis for you like this, and as such gave you an indication that the market was going to rally yesterday, and therefore you can look for long trade setups rather than short trade setups, and as such catch the trades that are in the direction of the larger degree trend. So hopefully this video has helped show you how we use the 15-minute charts and how we use the decision points on the larger degree time frame charts once you're slightly more experienced with MTPredictor, to give you areas of support and resistance in advance. And that's the key, they're in advance, and then that can help you gauge the shorter term trend or the large degree trend on the shorter term charts to then orient your trading in that direction. Just a last quick look on the NinjaTrader add-ons. There we go, we had exactly the same setup on the Russell Index there. If I put the analysis on, there's our plus 2.5 hour profit. And if I go to the 15-minute chart on the Russell Index, we can put the DPs on again exactly the same way as we do in the end of day software. In fact, we were coming off that low there, weren't we, on the Russell Index? Put the DP on, and there's the decision point coming in support there. So exactly the same as we have in our standalone version. So no matter whether you use the RT add-ons for NinjaTrader or whether you use the standalone versions, the techniques are exactly the same.